Good morning. Wow, pretty crazy last night or yesterday or whatever transpired. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, got to get the microphone in the right position. Too early in the morning, and I'm only on my third cup of Joe here. So, yeah. Hey, I'll answer questions when I finish my little presentation and we go over uh, who's a vet. Inquiring minds want to know. Tats posted a video yesterday, and I played his video, and he came on my channel last night on a live, and in regards to a woman who's claiming to be a veteran. And there's been a pretty good discussion in the comment section on my video. Everybody's been very civil about it. It's been a very good conversation. I think some people are interpreting regulations, rules, laws, whatever, incorrectly. There is a thing called active federal service, and that is active duty. Those two terms can be used in conjunction with each other, and that's someone who is in the regular Army, RA, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, Air Force, the military branches, the active duty, active federal service duty. Those are people that signed up and went active duty, and that was their job 24/7 while they served. So it gets really convoluted when you start talking about, yes, exactly, National Guard call to federal active duty. And we're going to go over that. So just disease or injury. Pregnancy is not a disease or injury. Calm the fuck down, all right? We're not going to go there. It has nothing to do with it. And she wasn't on federal active duty. Take a chill. Watch my presentation. There are specific definitions of what a veteran is per USC. So I am going to try and explain that. And this is going to be my opinion on it. And if you disagree with my opinion, then we'll just agree to disagree. That's all there is to it. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I'm basing all of this on my 30 plus years of service, not only active duty, 13 years, 10 months initial active duty. I was required to remain in the IRR during my VSI period when I get out on the early out in 92 after the Gulf War. Then I went back reserve. Then I went back guard. Then I went back active. So yeah, I've been around. I know a little bit of something about something. Uh, Pregnancy is not an injury, dude, and that's not a law. It's a regulation. It's not a law. I hate to tell you this. USC is a code of regulations. It's not a law. So uh, anyway, no moderators. Don't get in an argument or fight a chat or anything like we're going to do with Stone Vet or whatever. So let me do this. Let me bring this up first. So this is probably the easiest pamphlet that the VA has in determining veteran status. Now this deals with the Veterans First contracting program, but it is also throughout the VA when it comes to determining a veteran. Veterans Affairs pretty much tells you who a veteran is and who isn't a veteran. And we're going to get into the USC stuff in a little bit, the United States codes, which are, again, not laws, but regulations. So, veteran, let's see. And we're going to talk about, here it is, CFR. It's a regulation, and we're going to talk about that. 38 USC, United States Code 1012. We're going to talk about that, and I'm going to bring it up and show you. Veteran has the meaning given the term in 38 USC 1012, a reservist or member of the National Guard called to federal active duty or disabled from a disease or injury incurred or aggravated in the line of duty or while in training status. Wasn't in training status, never went IADT. DEP, delayed entry program, you are not in training status. Even if you show up at your guard unit on a weekend, even the RSP people nowadays with the RSP program, no. Anyway, the term veteran means a person who served in the active military, naval or air service, and who was discharged or released therefrom under conditions other than dishonorable. Uncharacterized can qualify for veteran benefits. However, they did not spend enough time on active duty for the military to even have an opinion on their service, whether it be honorable, dishonorable, or anything else. Very rare cases where people will be considered a veteran through the VA due to an uncharacterized discharge. So, the term active duty, full-time duty in armed forces, other than active duty for training. So, if a National Guard person joins the National Guard, actually goes to BCT, Basic Combat Training, which is also called IADT, Initial Active Duty for Training, they still don't qualify as a veteran, whether you like it or not. So nowadays, now that we're not embroiled in a 20-year conflict, somebody joins the National Guard today, they go to IADT, they get their basic training, AIT training, go back to their unit, do 20 years, and never get called to federal active duty for a minimum of 181 days, they're not considered a veteran. It sounds messed up. I agree. However, if they retire from, and I read this in one of the regulations, National Guard regulations, if they retire, they are considered a veteran. So, if they just do their 3 years, 4 years, 6 years, whatever, they're not considered a veteran. So full-time active duty, other than for training purposes. So let's go to this 38 USC 101.2. Let me find it. Well, first off, let's take a look at 38 CFR 3.1 under definitions. Armed Forces means the United States Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, Space Force, and Coast Guard, including their reserve components. U.S. Army Reserve, National Guard, Marine Corps Reserves, all of the different ones, the Air National Guard, which is the Air Force equivalent to the Army National Guard, reserve component of one of the armed forces. And I got to share that. I'm sorry. Share this instead. Sorry. I'm not teching well this morning. So this is the CFR. Title 38, Chapter 1, Part 3, Subpart A, General 3.1, and right here. Veteran means a person who served in the active military, naval, air, or space, and who was discharged or released under conditions other than dishonorable. All right, but there is another section, and that section is 21. So let's scroll down to... No, that's a different one. This is so freaking convoluted. It's crazy. So let's share this tab. 38 USC 101 definitions. The term veteran, and this is really hard to see. I'm sorry. I will, can't really make that any bigger. Sorry about that. But the term veteran means a person who served in the active military, naval, air, or space service and who was discharged or released therefrom under conditions other than dishonorable. But if we go down to section 21, the term active duty. Under 21, the term active duty means all full time duty in the armed forces other than active duty for training. Does that make sense? I hope so. Full time duty other than for training purposes as a commissioned officer of the regular or reserve corps, of the public health service, or after July 29, 45. Before that date, under circumstances affording entitlement to full benefit. There's other different things that fall in there. Full-time duty as a commissioned officer in the Commissioned Officer Corps of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Service as a cadet in the United States in the United States Military, Air Force, or Coast Guard Academy, or as a midshipman at the United States Naval Academy, and authorized travel to or from such duty. And this section here has a whole bunch of things that outline what active duty is. So this Trump said person has just been like hammering about this pregnancy thing, which doesn't matter. DEP, delayed entry program, that was prior to RSP. Aggravated in the line of duty. What was she having sex on a desk in the office at the guard unit in the line of duty? No, it's not training status on DEP. Does not qualify as. That's my opinion, and you're not going to change my mind. I've read all the rules and regulations. I have a general understanding of rules and regulations and laws. I'm just saying. She doesn't have a DD 214, Lupe. Not that I've seen. However, and I'm not even going to go down this rabbit hole, folks, because there's no stolen valor. There's, she's not like Kaiser. All right. Definitely not like Kaiser. Okay. She says she's a vet. I watched the video. Somebody else posted up her NGB 22. I mean, here's what I would do if I was even going to proceed with this, because it's mind over matter. I don't mind, and it doesn't matter really if she claims she's a veteran or not. She enlisted in the Minnesota National Guard, never went to IADT, period. Never spent a single day on active duty per the Defense Manpower Database. So that's the first place I always check when I'm looking into stuff. Defense Manpower Database, check the dates, no active duty. There's not going to be a DD 214 because the National Guard does not issue DD 214s. They issue NGB Form 22s. I joined under the delayed entry program. I was a E1 private while I was in that delayed entry program after I took my oath, but that didn't make me a veteran, not by any stretch. I still had to go through my basic training. Back then it was called basic training. It wasn't called BCT. Now it's called basic combat training. I went through my AIT, and then I spent 13 years, 10 months on active duty. So active federal duty. DEP is not active federal duty. It's the delayed entry program. And in order, it's like an unofficial contract kind of thing. If you don't show up to ship out for basic training, they just discharge you from the guard. Boom. And that's why that NGB Form 22 under military occupation. Excuse me, I got to drink some coffee. That's why it's got, NA, nothing, 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 no awards, decorations, no school, no training. Uh, and I wish they had shown the entire Block 10. Now, if I were going to really dig into this, which would pretty much be a waste of my time and resource, I would send a Freedom of Information Act to the Minnesota National Guard. They would send me a copy of that NGB Form 22. And then what I found very unusual in the you're not inactive reserve. Inactive IRR status is what someone's in when they say you enlist for a 3-year term. You've got 3 years inactive reserve. That's inactive reserve. Uh, you're driving me crazy there, Trump said. But we're having a discussion, and that's fine. And we can have differing opinions. No issues with that. Round 4 coffee versus MSG fight. Yeah, I hear you, Jerry. So anyway, I've gone over all this stuff. What's IADT? Let me share that. Yeah, there you go. A military term referring to the first period, generally 6 months in length, of active duty training, a factor for eligibility. And then I downloaded that MGIB-SR pamphlet. It's required for people entering the selected reserve. Hello? You have to go to IADT to be considered a reservist. I don't know what else to tell you. When you're in the DEP, you're a civilian. Civilian. The Guard may have you come to drills just to see what's going on. I know now they've got what they call, in 96, 96, they had a pilot program because they were having so many problems with people joining the National Guard and then going to basic training and just being a complete, like me. I was a shit show when I went to basic training. I had no idea what I was getting into. At least now, and I don't know when this went full time for all National Guard, the RSP program. It's a great program. They do 5 uh, weekends and they learn a bunch of shit before they go to BCT. So they show up and they're kind of like the stars of BCT because they already know what's going on, where the rest of us, not so much. We're like, dumbasses when we show up. What else did I have up here? Um, oh, yeah. And every place you look about what is a veteran, every place. This talks about eligibility for health care. Now, veteran status is one of the eligibilities for VA health care. And a disability that was caused or made worse by your active duty service, or you were discharged for hardship or early out, or you served prior to September 7, 1980. There was no hardship. And if you do some research on delayed entry program and pregnancies, you just don't go. They drop you, or in the case of the National Guard, they don't drop you from the rolls because that's mainly dealing with somebody who just doesn't show up anymore. If there's a reason like that you can't go and it's going to be for an extended period of time, they will discharge you and give you an NGB Form 22. Okay, she got pregnant. Not her fault. Well, condoms or the pill or whatever, that might have, but shit happens. Life happens. It was an oopsie. Okay, so she didn't go to IADT, not a veteran. Just because you were in DEP for the National Guard does not make you a veteran. 0 days active duty. And as I've already explained, in order to technically be considered a veteran, 181 days of continued active duty service and federal active duty service. So, and you're not a reservist either. I get it. When you entering DEP, you are not yet an active duty. You are not yet an official member of the uniformed services. You're not even a member of the National Guard or the inactive reserve. Prove it. Post up the regulation that says you are. You're the one that's putting that out there. Post the regulation that says you are a member of the inactive reserve during DEP. Show that to me, and I will eat my words. But even that, inactive reserve, you don't qualify as a veteran. You do not qualify as a veteran because you have had no federal active duty time. I can't make that any clearer. I could change my mind about it. There are people that that do have veteran status. Unfortunately, Kaiser technically has veteran status with the VA because he was injured during active duty training that kept him there, and he supposedly got a 40% disability from the VA. Can't verify it due to HIPAA, but yeah, I didn't witness anyone that was medically dropped or discharged while I was when I went through basic training. Of course, I mean, back then we ran in boots and wore uniforms. We didn't have PT clothes, and we had a lot of guys with, shin splints, myself included, shin splints, lots of aches and pains from running in boots and our fatigues at the time. But yeah, it's you can't be a member of the National Guard, Reserve, or inactive reserve unless you have completed your initial active duty for training. You have no status, none, zero, zip. And like I said, Trump said, if you could show me in the regulation that says you are, what's he saying now? You laugh because she's an E1. Many died on their first day. Yeah, okay. Why are you simping so hard for? I don't get it. I've just outlined everything that details what a veteran is or who a veteran is. She doesn't tick any of the boxes. I mean, kudos to her for signing up in the first place. A lot of people don't. But that whole fight that she was having with that other guy, and then she waves those 3 pages from NPRC, which I guarantee you show no service found, because she wouldn't show those. She just showed the envelope, which was kind of weird. But who cares? Who cares? It's not a stolen valor case. She's not out there saying she was a staff sergeant with 3 deployments, 2 Purple Hearts, and 9 surgeries due to combat injuries and shooting a 14-year-old or any of that shit. You know? Well, you should be calling her out because she's not classified as a veteran. I don't know what IRL is, and I don't care. Like I said, it is what it is. I've stated my point. I have quoted the regulations. I have quoted everything that is associated with being a veteran. I don't know what else to tell you. Again, there was something. Wait a minute. Let me find this. Let me see if I can find where it said this. Oh, geez. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. All right. So let me share this. Active duty. Any period of active duty for training during which the individual concerned was disabled or died from a disease or injury incurred or aggravated in the line of duty. That's what you said. But you're saying pregnancy is part of that. It's not. I, that that is the most retarded thing I've ever heard. Any period of inactive duty training during which inactive duty training during which the individual concerned was disabled or died from an injury incurred or aggravated in a line of duty or from an acute myocardial infarction, a cardiac arrest, or a cerebrovascular accident occurring during such training. Getting impregnated, not there. But it's a mute point. It's a mute point. My makes my. I feel bad for Tats. I don't know what happened. His channel's gone. His emails don't work. I wanted to reach out to him, make sure he was okay. Hopefully he sees this and he reaches out to me. I want to make sure he's okay. But yeah, I mean, Trump said we had a great discussion, and yep, I get it. But I mean, I've highlighted just about everything I can highlight. Yeah, yeah, and I don't know why they would ever recognize it as an injury. It's not. Well, I don't know. You can't get well. I could go down that road, but I won't. I'm gonna be a gentleman. Uh, I'm gonna be a gentleman. I'm gonna be a gentleman. Now, during after 9/11, there was a huge uptick in female soldiers that were getting pregnant to avoid deployments. Yep, there was a bunch of them. I know that for a fact. Uh, let's see. So what's going? So any questions? I didn't dox Tats saying he's in Daytona. I said I was going down to Daytona. He's not scared. And actually, I think I got a pretty good idea where Tats lives because he mentioned something when I was talking about something, but he doesn't live in Daytona. And that I did not dox him. Tats is, I'll tell you what, he's undercover pretty good. Anybody can dox me. You can find out my full name and who I am, where I live, what I do. It's easy enough. Um, MSG continues to be based. Well, I don't know what that means. Oh, Shizzo the whore knows where he lives. Pretty sure I do too. Adam, it wasn't a stolen valor thing. If you look at the live I did last night with Tats, there were two people arguing. This woman was saying she was a vet, and this guy was saying she wasn't. and she was waving around some papers and not actually showing them from NPRC. And then the dude brought up her NGB Form 22, which showed that she never went to basic training. Um, but there's no stolen valor involved. There's no claims. There's no. It doesn't violate the stolen valor. Even if she was going crazy, there's certain requirements for the Stolen Valor Act to actually be violated federally or by any state, because every one of the states has got their own stolen valor statutes. So yeah, there's no stolen valor. This was just Tats had posted a video. I watched it. I thought it was funny. I brought Tats up. We talked about it. I looked at I stopped the video for the sections of the NGB Form 22, which is a national guard discharge. Um, Uncharacterized, no military education, no military schooling, no MOS. Pretty much a Kaiser, basically a Kaiser NGB Form 22 with uncharacterized service. Um, so yeah, there's no stolen valor thing going on there. So let's see. Let me catch up with the chat here, guys. Redacted. I don't know what MSG continues to be based is. I don't know what that means. Um, oh, the real deal, no bullshit. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to jeopardize my integrity in regards to or being reliable as a source over something crazy like this. But I just thought it was funny. And Tats asked to share. And, Tats is a very talented guy. He does some great videos. And he was the first one. Yeah, monosodium glutamate. It gives a lot of people headaches. But guess what else gives people a lot of headaches? Master sergeants. Yeah. Yep. Everybody posting law. They're not laws. They're regulations. Okay. There's a difference. Regulations, laws. Um, the government is just a myriad of craziness when it comes to all of this shit. Yeah, yeah. So somebody said that I was being used. I don't think I was being used by doing that. I was more than happy to share one of Tats's videos, and he came up and we talked about it and had a laugh, and that's just the way I interpret it. Yeah, CFR, Code of Federal Regulations. It's not semantics. You can't go to jail for violating a CFR. You can get fined. Notice of loss or notice NAL, NOL. I forget what it is. Uh, yeah, it's not really semantics. It's a regulation. I get like that crazy about laws because I am a police officer and I do enforce laws. So yeah, okay. Call me Mr. Semantics. That's all right. I don't mind. I'm easy. You can go to the brig for it. Yeah, maybe. But you wouldn't go to the brig. It would be for a UCMJ violation, not for a CFR. And that's the other thing. When you're in DEP, you're not subject to the Uniform Code of Military Justice. The same as a National Guard person who is on drill status, not subject Uniform Code of Military Justice. They're subject to their own state rules, regulations, and that kind of stuff. Call me Shirley. Don't call me Shirley. Anybody else got any questions? I really hadn't planned on even doing this, um, but I figured it was warranted because all of a sudden Tat's channel disappeared, and I did notice where she had posted a link to Tat's video and said that she was going to strike it. So I didn't know if he got struck, um, or maybe he did get struck, and rather than deal with that bullshit, he just decided to take his channel down. That could be too. All right, she can be big mad. I mean, I'm giving my opinion on it, and she can have her opinion on it. And I don't consider her a vet. All the regulations back me up on that. Yeah, Tats is a solid dude. I agree. Yeah, you're right, Tuscany. It could the channel could be down while he appeals whatever happened, if it happened. Yes, Sonic and Tails, I do. It's MSG retired 11 at gmail.com. 2011 is when I retired. So I got MSG retired 11 at gmail.com. Yeah, Jam, and I'm sure he's fine. He might be a little bit frustrated and taking his channel down. I don't know. Um, yeah, and I don't agree with Tats on everything either. Especially when it comes to some of the stuff he was talking about, because he likes the controversial stuff, and he kind of stays center line on a lot of it, and it's kind of neat. He's a very interesting person. Yeah, I'm sure he will. He'll explain it. I'm sure he's fine. Self terminated. So yeah, he might have got struck and then just took his channel down. You know what? Maybe the Squatch got him. He did have a Squatch channel. I don't know if that's still up or not. Maybe Sasquatch showed up and snatched him. Hmm. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. Hopefully you enjoyed it this morning. Like I said, I just wanted to go over this stuff because and I want to thank everybody for being um, respectful and having a difference of opinion. I mean, we're having a good conversational, somewhat chat in my comments. Uh, Everybody's been good about it. I mean, if it gets totally crazy and people start threatening and all that other, I will definitely take comments off and take videos down. I usually don't, but if it ever got to that, and I could see where it could because I've been seeing some stuff where some of the players and all of this stuff can tend to get really overboard. But like I said again, it's mind over matter. I don't mind. It don't matter. Not a stolen valor case. Somebody claiming a vet. I showed you what a vet is. You make up your own mind. Hey, thanks for watching, guys, and have yourself a great Saturday.